you tired of struggling to grow your real estate business on social media? Well, today we're going to talk about something that I've used to supercharge my business. It's helped me when I was brand new in the industry, and it still helps me to this very day. So let's go ahead and jump into my network nurture program, and feel free to use it, steal it, and help your business grow. First off, my name is Andrew. Of course, you can call me Mister Mongo or Mongo, whatever you want. I am a real estate team leader out in the panhandle of Florida, so between Pensacola, Panama City Beach. And this is a strategy that I've used since day one. This is a little bit different than your social media posting and what am I going to push out there, what kind of content to push. This is not a content pushing video. This is an actual strategy to bring in real leads, real business right now, today. And it is so very helpful. I've been doing it since the beginning of my career. One of the biggest issues I see real estate agents struggle with is engaging with their community or with their circle, their sphere, their social media folks that they have, friends, followers, whatever you want to call it, in a clear and deliberate manner. This system that I'm going to show you today is going to break that down to a super easy to follow, very simple strategy that does work as long as you implement it. So let's start by talking about the Network Nurture program that I'm going to be discussing for the rest of this video. I actually used to call it my Facebook 5x5x5, but that's a little bit lengthy for YouTube, so I'm going to shorten that up with the Network Nurture program. So anytime I say Network Nurture, I'm talking about this program as a whole, and it's very simply this. It is 5 likes or reactions on whatever your favorite social media platform is, 5 comments on 5 different posts, and then 5 direct messages. And you do this every single day. This should be part of your hour of power or your 3 hours of prospecting every day. However you're running your business, it does not take long and it has just massive impact. So let's break down a little bit about what each of these do before I go into the real deep nitty-gritty portion of the algorithm, which I am going to do a little bit, and then give you some additional tips. So make sure you're sticking around till the end, because just hearing this beginning portion is not enough. There is some really great strategy that you need to implement that will bring in a ton of business. Just to put this into perspective, when I started doing this, it took me about a year into my real estate business. I only sold 11 in my first year, and I went from 11 to about 28 sales overnight, essentially, by doing this strategy. I wasn't communicating with my sphere of influence properly, and this helped me do that in a very clear and deliberate manner, and it has been something I have been doing ever since. So the 5 likes or reactions, the love, the care, all that other stuff that Facebook has. Instagram's just got kind of a heart. That's perfectly fine. So what that does is that really helps tell the algorithm who you want to communicate with. So you don't necessarily just want to do these with the people that you're seeing on your feed. And I've got some strategies on how you're going to bypass that here in a little bit, so stick around for that. But it's going to help tell the algorithm, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. In fact, for the remainder of this video, I'm going to just kind of directed at Facebook because that is the one that I use the most, but this platform or this program works on Instagram. Heck, it would probably even work on TikTok and a bunch of the other ones that are kind of out there. But what this does is it tells the algorithm exactly who you'd like to communicate with. Every time you hit that like button, that love button, what have you, it now tells you, hey, let's push their content to each other, because Facebook is an engaging platform for friends and family. And then the 5 comments you're going to do every single day, these are going to be on different posts, okay? Now, you're going to be commenting on these, so make sure that you like them as well. There's no need to skip that portion. You might as well do it. It only takes half a second. But realistically, it's 5 comments on other posts. And what you really want to do with this is make sure that they are meaningful and engaging, meaning you're going to try to start a dialogue. This is also going to tell the algorithm who you want to communicate with, and now you're going to start seeing more of each other's posts. You start seeing a little theme here, and I'm going to go into a little bit more into how the algorithm works here in just a little bit, or at least how we think it is, because please keep in mind it is not known fully what each of these platforms do, but we've got a pretty good idea based on the years and years that Facebook and Instagram have been out on how they work. Now, you've got the 5 direct messages after that. This is probably the most overlooked one. If you're doing 5 likes, 5 comments, and 5 DMs, I promise you, if you don't do something, it is probably the direct messages. The direct messages are the instant business. If you want to get business now, that's the one you need to make sure that you're focusing on. I mean, you need to do all of them because there's a whole strategy here that now involves your posting and how they're seeing more of your stuff and stuff like that I'll talk about here in a minute. But the direct messages are absolutely vital. The number one mistake I see people that try to implement this program on my team or that I'm teaching in some of my smaller coaching groups is that they don't do this portion, and then they do this strategy for several months and go, well, nothing's happening. Well, of course it's not happening. You still need to have belly to belly, ear to ear, finger typing conversations with human beings, okay? We are in real estate after all. We do need to communicate because we do communicate for a living. So that is what we're going to need to do. Please do not skip that step. I know it's scary the first couple of times you do it, but after that, it's really easy. And I'll give you some strategies for that. In fact, I'll give you one really easy one right now. Go to their personal profile, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, what have you, and scroll through their feed and pick something out that you would generally comment on that you have not commented on, or maybe that you have, but you can provide some additional conversation about it, and then direct message them there. So this doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't need to reach out and be like, hey, look, who do you know looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? I get it. That was a strategy that worked back in the day. It's not as effective now. This is different. This is relationship building. So you just want to have conversations about what they're doing in their life. You do not want to make it about you. You want to make it about them. So let's go into some real life examples of how I do this without actually going to the computer and showing you every little thing. Here's a couple of little examples. I had a past client, friend, if you will, at this point. I mean, kind of, we barely talk, but like, you know, I'm keeping up the relationship. And one of her children got into college at Florida State University. Happened to see that on Facebook. Now, I could easily do what most people do, and I hit like or hit love, and I put congratulations, it's so amazing, which I did all of that. And then I followed this up with a direct message, and I said, hey, so-and-so, I saw that your kid was in college or going to this college. It's so amazing. When does she leave? Awesome. Is she planning on staying in the dorms, or is she going to be living, off campus? Like, how's that work? And I just start an overall conversation about this, nothing too crazy. And then I like to take the offline or the online and take it offline. So in this situation, I went on Amazon.com and bought a Florida State University hat and mailed it to them. It cost me like $15 or $14 or something like that. Direct shipped right to her door with a quick little note that says, hey, congratulations on your scholarship at FSU. I hope it's an amazing time. Then I put, her daughter's name on there. So now I've kind of taken the online, offline, and built that personal relationship more. Now, you don't necessarily have to just give gifts all the time. I just felt like for these major moments, it's a little bit more appropriate there. So if somebody has a kid, if somebody starts a new job, like things like that, I might send flowers to their office or just really anything to kind of take that relationship to the next level and take it offline, right? And kind of in person, even though it's really not in person directly. And if you want a really easy way to do this, handwritten notes are absolutely amazing for this. I didn't need to send a hat. If I would have just sent a handwritten note or went to something like sendoutcards.com, which I will have a link down below. If you guys sign up, I think there's some sort of affiliate there, but you can do something really easy there where you take a picture of the campus and then you just send them a little note on sendout cards, or of course handwritten, and then send that. And it has equally as good effect, but that's not really what we're talking about here. The main thing we want to talk about is a network nurture in general. So just by having the private conversation with her, that's enough. That's going to bring so much value to our relationship and kind of step it up to the next level, which in turn is going to help with referrals and her thinking of me and just staying top of mind with me at all times, so she doesn't forget that I am her realtor, I am her friend, I am here for her and her family. So before I jump into some of the tips and tricks that I really want to give you, the really juicy stuff nearing the end of the video, I do want to talk about why and how the algorithm kind of works and why this strategy is so powerful. Because me just telling it to you is not going to be enough to move you into action. And I really want you guys to move into action. This entire strategy takes about 15 to 30 minutes a day, and it is hands down some of the best prospecting you will get to do because it is extremely focused and it is built upon relationships that you already have to build them stronger and bring in a ridiculous amount of business your way. So first and foremost, the entire strategy, the likes, the comments, and the DMs are going to increase your visibility to your preferred client, which is your sphere of influence of people that already kind of know, like, and trust you, or at least have some idea of who you are. Because I know on Facebook and Instagram primarily, they don't always necessarily know who we are, but this does help bring that relationship to the next level. And for the ones that already know, like, and trust us, it will help with visibility there as well. And as one of my favorite coaches always says, visibility trumps ability. It is so important to be visible, more so than it is to be extremely good at your job. Now, don't get me wrong, I think you need to be really good at your job too, but the visibility helps you get there and brings in more business, which then in turn will help you become better. This also helps with your brand awareness. Now, it doesn't really seem like it. Your brand awareness is going to be mainly content, which we're not talking about in this particular video, but I do have videos on that, and I have more videos coming about that as well. But by constantly showing up and your face pops up, hey, so-and-so liked your thing, so-and-so loved your post, so-and-so commented on your post, you're staying top of mind, you're building that brand awareness because you're always kind of popping up. And then, of course, this is going to help you build trust with your people. So what are the 3 things people need in order to do business with you? They need to know, like, and trust you. If they're on your social media platform, they already know you, or at least know of you, and they need to like you. Well, this is going to help build that like factor as well, because you're staying engaged with them. You're not making this about you like most of our social media posts. Everybody right now on social media is the fake guru stuff. It's the fake this, it's the fake that. We're taking pictures in front of planes and all that silly stuff, saying that we're going on, private jets. This is about them, and that's what's most important. So instead of us shouting to the world how great we are and all the content we're doing, this is a direct contact and a direct relationship building strategy that will pay off dividends in the future. This will also help build your network a little bit, because if you're engaging a lot with somebody and your stuff's kind of showing up from time to time, and then you go to, let's say, friend request one of their friends, which is a strategy I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes, then they're more likely to have seen some of your comments, especially for the people that are commenting all the time on somebody's post. And it makes them already kind of feel like they know you, because they pop onto their friend's post and they see your comment, and then now they're commenting, and then they, a few weeks later, they see it again. They start seeing your name, and that repetition really helps. And it's also going to help with referral opportunities. A lot of our clients, they know us, they like us, they trust us, and they want to refer us business, but sometimes something happens in the middle of the day, and they kind of forget about it, and they sit on it for a few weeks, and by the time they remember to tell us about their friend that needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, that person's already jumped on Zillow, or that person's already talked to another real estate professional. By staying engaged and staying up there on social media in front of them with your posts, which we're not talking about today, but also with these direct touches, you're almost ensuring that they think of you, so that when they're sitting in the office the next day and they start having a conversation and you just happen to comment on their post from last night, you're fresh in their head. Their brain is going to activate that. The reticular activating system is going to kick in and go, oh yeah, so-and-so is a real estate professional. Almost completely forgot, because it's been a while since they've reached out, and it's just another way to stay in front of them. So this helps build referral opportunities with their friends and family. This is also going to make it a lot easier for your clients or future clients to talk to you about things, because you're in their comments, you're in their DMs. Maybe they have a question, but they don't know you quite well enough, or maybe they definitely didn't know you well enough and they weren't planning on asking you. But because you're building this relationship, now they go, oh, hey, by the way, you DM them about something going on in their life, and they just say, oh, hey, oh, by the way, me and my husband have been thinking about purchasing a property, and hey, we're already chatting, so what do you think? Like, here's what we're looking for. Do you think it's possible? And then that can help create some business as well. And then, of course, the hidden benefit is that you're going to get content ideas, because you're always inside of Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you're using. You're going to see what other people are posting, which also means you're going to see what they are asking. And when given the opportunity, you can step in with your expertise. And you'll also find out what your clients or future clients are thinking about, so that you can start answering those questions in your content, which, oh, hey, they had a question about this. Then all of a sudden you pop a reel on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, and all of a sudden they're going, wow, that person answered my question. That's really cool. Now they're DMing you about it because they've got additional questions that you stirred up in some of your posts. So this goes in conjunction with your content strategy as well, which is also very important. You need to be partnering a content strategy with this one. So if you stay on top of it and you do the 5 likes and the 5 comments and the 5 direct messages, or 10 or however many you choose, and you're doing it every single workday, how does this help out the algorithm? Like, let's get very specific here on exactly how this helps, so that you guys understand exactly how powerful this is. It will not be overnight, but it'll be pretty dang close, especially on Facebook and Instagram. They move very, very quickly. So how does it help the algorithm? Keep in mind that everything I'm about to say here is just kind of a solid, educated guess on how the algorithm works. We don't actually know. It's very proprietary. They don't really open this up. We've got a pretty good idea. And when I say we, I just mean the community as a whole, not just real estate agents and not just Mister Mongo. Speaking of that, if you've made it this far, you've got some sort of value out of this. So please hit that like button for me. It is helping get my channel out. I'm trying to help as many agents as I can. I know right now a lot of people are struggling. So if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, it really helps me spread the word a little bit. So the first thing I've already talked about a little bit is engagement signals. By doing the likes, the comments, the DMs, you are sending a signal to the algorithm that you guys would like to see more of each other's posts. And wouldn't that be great if more of your people saw your posts about real estate or your new listing or whatever strategy you're using on the content side? And just to show you how powerful this is, I bet if you look right now, 5 to 10% of your Facebook folks are posting and you're not seeing any of it. That is because you guys have not engaged with each other in so long that the system doesn't know you guys want to see each other's stuff. There's a really good tool out there I'll talk about here in just a little bit, so hang on for that will really help with this portion. I talked about this next one briefly as well, visibility. Every time you hit that like button, every time you hit a comment, it pops up in their feed. They go onto their feed, that top right portion of Facebook, let's say, and all the things that they need to be notified by, and they just see your name. It keeps popping up. This is the exact strategy that makes stories in Facebook so freaking powerful, is because you're constantly staying up there. For people that don't know, one of the strategies is to post 10 to 30 stories per day. I know that seems insane, but every time you do it, it pops up there on their feed with a big picture of whatever your story was about. This is a smaller version of that, just happening up in the little dialogue box or the little drop down box of saying, hey, so and so liked your stuff. And it's just these little tiny hits. It's nothing too crazy, and it's not going to be this big game changer, but it does help when paired with everything else that you're doing. And this is also going to signal the algorithm to boost your friendship strength. The higher your friendship strength, the more stuff you're going to see from them. This is exactly why you see your mom post something and you see everything that she posts. There's nothing hidden because you're engaging with them. You're saying, hey, mom, that's funny, or, whatever. Maybe it's not your mom. Maybe it's your best friend. It doesn't really matter, but it boosts that friendship strength. And the really cool thing about this is as you start boosting that up, the friendship strength goes down at a slower pace than you're going to be doing the Facebook 5x5. So if you haven't hit them in a while, their strength isn't going to go right down to the bottom, okay? It is going to slowly decline. And what's really cool about this is you're building friendship strength with lots of other people. You're obviously not going to be able to have that same reciprocity because, well, you can't see everybody's Facebook stuff or everybody's feed. So it's going to show more of them that are engaging with you, which helps you because it builds a relationship a little bit further. And Facebook is helping with that, or Instagram. There's a bunch of other smaller things it does as well, but there's only one more I want to hit on this topic before I go to the next section. And that is the consistency really helps. So what happens is the algorithm sees you are consistent on their platform. They want that. They get paid by throwing ads on your feed. I'm pretty sure it's still the exact same. Every 4 posts, the 4th post and the 8th post, the 12th post, what have you, those are going to be ads. That's how Facebook, that's how Instagram gets paid. They're not charging you to use their platform. They get paid from ad revenue. So the more time you're on it, the better it is for them. The more time they see you on it, the more they're going to push your content out because they want you to continue to come back to the platform to see more ads and bring in more revenue for the company. Okay, so before I get into some of my smaller tips and tricks, let's recap this. At 5 likes or reactions, the reactions are actually a little bit better than the likes. So I almost always do the heart or the wow or one of those because it is supposed to be a little bit better for the algorithm. So it's 5 of those. It is 5 meaningful comments. Your goal should be to get a response, not just a reaction. Your goal should be to actually have a conversation in there. In fact, as you get better with this strategy, you can start adding in some extra little challenges for you if you wanted to, where instead of just one response, try to turn that response into another one. And then now you have 3 underneath your main comment. And then when you get good at that, try to do it with 4 and 5 and so on and so forth to try to make that a little bit longer and build the relationship in the comment section. And lastly, 5 direct messages. And these need to be to different people. You can't hit the same people every single week. So that's the main strategy. Now let's go into some tips. First and foremost, do it every single workday. This should be part of your daily routine. It should be part of whatever you're doing to bring in business for your business or to bring in leads for your business. So if it's an hour of power, like I know that's a popular thing with a lot of coaches, I personally teach my agents to do 3 hours of prospecting per day. because this is your job. Eventually the market's going to kick us in the teeth, and if you're not doing 3 per day, you are going to be hurt. The agents on my team that are doing 3 hours of prospecting per day right now in this market as I'm shooting it, agents are leaving the business. The ones that are doing 3 hours per day, they're dominating, not even thriving. I'm talking dominating. I still have agents making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're only 9 months into the year. That's it. 3 hours of prospecting per day. That's what I teach, but maybe it's an hour of power. Maybe this is the only strategy you have because you're part-time. That's perfectly fine. In fact, when I meet a part-timer, if I'm coaching somebody or, I'm doing a one-on-one session with somebody that just needs a little bit of help, which I do from time to time. I'm not actually a certified coach at this time or anything. I don't get paid for any of this. Like, that's not what I'm not selling anything like that. So don't worry about that. But when I am coaching one that is part-time, this is the strategy I give them. This is the strategy that works. And it takes 15 minutes, especially once you get really good at it. The hardest part about it is trying to figure out who you're going to talk to that day. Another tip I have for you is don't skip steps. I know I talked about this already. Don't skip it. Don't skip the DMs. The DMs are so easy to skip.
I'm busy. I don't really know if I want to talk to that person. This is kind of scary.
You guys are friends. You're friends on a social platform that encourages you guys to talk to each other. It is not weird. If they don't respond to you, that's perfectly fine. People are busy. Just hit them up again in another couple of months or the next time it kind of pops up. This one's kind of a one-off tip, but for those that don't know, you can actually put your friends in friends lists in Facebook. That's what I do. I keep certain categories, and there's a few that I would suggest for you. And basically what you do is you put them in your friends list, and then this way you can go to that friends list and then click on each one of their profiles to see what they are up to, which I'll talk about that in a second. But it also allows you to post just to those people in that platform. For me, I am a real estate team leader. I'm also a real estate professional, although I barely sell. I'm almost out of sales completely now because I'm focused on making my agents successful. But I'm also doing this brand here, the Mister Mongo brand, the one where I'm trying to tell agents and show agents what I've done that has changed my financial tree for the rest of my family's life, right? And I'm trying to push that content. So some of that content isn't for everybody. My mom doesn't need to see my post about trying to help agents. My dentist doesn't need to see those posts. So we can cycle posts to only go after those people. And what's really good about this is because it makes them more dedicated. So how the algorithm works on a basic level is, let's just say you've got 100 friends, just for ease of conversation. They're going to throw your post out to, let's say, 20 of them. If it does good, they're going to pick another 20 and do it again. If it still goes good, they're going to pick another 10 and so on and so forth. And eventually everybody will see it. This is exactly why the major moments in somebody's life gets shown to you so many times, because the algorithm is just constantly shoving it in front of you. And it also works the opposite way. If you do a post and it goes out to 20 people and nobody stops on it, nobody slows down, nobody likes or comments, and yes, stopping or slowing down on your post helps as well. So just by them going like this and stopping for a second, even if they don't engage, that will help. But if nobody does it, they just scroll right by it, they don't care, they saw it and they rolled right by it, then it stops showing it to people. And then guess what it does? On your next post, it only shows it to 18 people. And if you did really well, the next post will show it to 22. So by engaging and engaging and engaging, it wants to bump that up. So let's say you do this strategy for a while. Now it starts showing it to 25 or 30 people. So you've got a higher opportunity for your normal posting, your reels, your stories, your normal posts to get bigger and have more traction because it is pushing that out in front of them. On top of the fact that you've been showing support for your Facebook and Instagram friends, they're going to go and do that for you, which means you get more reach. More reach is a good thing on social media. And to jump on that same subject, this is why words like congratulations show up red in Facebook or rad. This will help boost it as well. This is kind of like a reaction. It's going to boost it just that much more. And this is why when you see somebody with a wedding or a new kid and everybody's putting congratulations or a new job, congratulations, all of that, you see it more often. It's just constantly getting thrown in front of you because it's just bumping that up even more, the algorithm even more. It's like 20 people, okay, that's good. 40 people, okay, cool. And it gets to all of your friends, then it goes, cool, show it to them again. Show it to them again. And this is why you'll see those like wedding posts from like 8 days ago, and you're like, why is this still on my feed? That is exactly why, because the algorithm loves it, and you're keeping people on the platform. People want to see you. This is a social platform. They want to see what's going on in your life, and when they see a big event like this, it makes them stop and go, wow, that's cool, congratulations. Like, you get more engagement, even from people that normally wouldn't engage, and then it boosts the algorithm even more. Another tip for you is make sure you're doing the other things. I know in this video we're talking about a very direct way to get business. We're talking about the actual prospecting version. We're not talking about content creation, but you need to pair these strategies, or it is most effective to pair these strategies with a good content creation strategy as well. You still need to be throwing stuff out there, because if you're bumping up the algorithm to let your stuff see more people, and you're not actually throwing stuff out for people to see, well, it doesn't really help that much. So this does need to be married with a good content strategy. And for those of you that really want to get technical with this, you really want to see how your friends rank and how they are seeing your stuff or not seeing your stuff, there is a really cool tool out there that I use pretty regularly called Friend Filter, and it is a paid service now, but it used to be free. It doesn't mean it's pretty inexpensive, and it'll siphon all of your friends. You put them all in there, and it will actually help you unfriend people that maybe aren't engaging, or if they're not really on Facebook at all anymore, it'll kind of help that out. So if you're getting near the upper echelon of how many friends you can have, let's say on Facebook, which is 5,000, you can kind of use this to get rid of some of those that are not engaging in your stuff so that your algorithm just stays through the roof. This will also show you whose stuff you're not seeing and who's not seeing your stuff, so that you can target them specifically if you wanted to bump that up. So let's say you've got some friends in the local area or just some acquaintances, but you guys don't really communicate with each other, so the algorithm puts them pretty low on the list. By going in there and liking and commenting manually on their stuff or direct messaging them, any of these things, it starts bumping them up. It's actually really cool to watch if you get this friend filter and run it, and then go on there and let's say DM the bottom 5 people. Wait a couple days, run it again. Those people will jump up to the middle of the pack instead of way down at the bottom. So if you want to target those people because they live locally, then great. That is a really good strategy to use. And of course, another great way to use this is to get rid of the people that you don't necessarily want to talk to anymore, so that you can bring more room for other people, help your algorithm out even more, and then continue the cycle all over again. I also suggest that you guys try to get to as many friends as possible. This is a strategy I am not doing personally at the moment, but I have watched a lot of people do this. So on Facebook especially, you have a limit of 5,000 friends. From 5,000 friends, or maybe it's 4,500 or 4,800, whatever the number is, you can now switch your account into a celebrity account, and they can now like your page instead of just following you as like a friend, right? So you can still see everything, they can still engage, they're still part of the algorithm, they still boost everything, but now you can do more than 5,000 people. My suggestion is hit friends of friends. While you're in there, you're doing your comments, you're doing your likes, see who's posting on people's stuff. And when you start seeing names happen regularly that you're not friends with, click on there, hit that friend request, and send it out to them. This way, you now take your friend's circle of friends and you start picking out from them. They're seeing your comments, as I mentioned earlier in this video. They're seeing your engagement. They're seeing all of this so that when they see your name, they don't think,
who's this random weirdo?
Some of them will still think that. And if you don't want to do that because you feel like that's a little bit too creepy or weird, you can also do it to people that like your favorite title company or your favorite lender or your favorite home inspector. Like their business pages, go in there and find who's liking those and friend those, especially if they are local. If you're building this as your business as a real estate professional, I suggest you have as many local people as possible in there, and that you do an audit once in a while to start removing people. And don't forget to put them in lists so that you can throw organic content directly at a very specific group of people that will be a little bit more engaging to them. And of course, the more people that you have, the more your stuff is being seen, the better your algorithm is going, the higher likelihood you have that somebody's going to pick up the phone and call you, or hit your DMs, or respond to any of your calls to actions whenever you do throw them out, because instead of 500 people in your database, you have 5,000 in there, and your just algorithm is just killing it. So you're getting a lot of engagement. And when these people are ready to transact, they know that you're the one that they want to talk to. And the absolute last tip I have for you guys before I let you go, thank you so much for making it this far. If you did, comment down below what your favorite part was, if you did make it this far. But the last tip I have for you is to hit that subscribe button and make sure that you're following me. I do a ton of content. I'm pushing this all out for free. I don't sell anything to you guys, or at least I'm not planning on at the moment. That's part of why I started this, by the way, is I was going to sell products and courses, but I think I'm just going to make them and just give them out to you guys. But follow me, hit the subscribe button, get the free content. I'm pushing everything I can out to you guys to try to help as many people as we can, because I know right now a lot of real estate agents are really, really struggling, and there's no need to, okay? You just need a little bit of information, and then you need to implement that and have a little bit of accountability, and your business will be fruitful for as long as you can possibly think. But in order to do that, you need to learn some stuff, and you need to, take things from a different approach. So if you feel like you're struggling, or even if you're not, you're just looking to enhance your business, hitting that subscribe button will notify you every single time I do a new video. And that is the end of my sales pitch. I hope that this was helpful to you guys. If you guys have any questions, of course, you can put it in the comments down below, or you can reach out to me. All of my information will pop up probably right here at the bottom, so you guys can reach out to me if you have any questions about why I moved my team over here to LPT Realty. I'd love to talk to you about it. That's all I've got for you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one.